Hey guys, welcome back. And today we'll talk about an interesting topic, SSH port forwarding. So let's see here, I created a diagram for y'all. So now, let's say we have a compromised server, aka pivot server, that we can access via SSH on port 22. But we want to access the internal network to dig deeper. But here's the thing. From our attacker machine, we can't access that internal network directly, since it is not exposed to the outside world. Okay, so let's say there's a server on that internal network that stores some sensitive data and some juicy stuff. If we know the IP address it uses and the port, we could use SSH port forwarding, this method, to access it from our attacker machine. So, first, to know what IP addresses are active, we might need a tool like a static binary version of Nmap to scan that internal network from our pivot server. And the main reason is because it has dependencies issue. We won't go in depth in this video, but just to let you know, some capability issue. Yeah. Let's say the pivot IP is 10.10.2.1, so we could run nmap sn 10.10.2.0/22 and exclude 10.10.2.1. It is important to exclude the pivot IP so we don't scan ourselves. Right. Now let's say nmap found a host at 10.10.2.50, which is storing the data or some kind of thing like that. And as you can see right here, down in the box, a little command terminal box right here, the return, and it has some ports open. You can see 22 and 80, which is nice. Alright, so to do a port forwarding, we could use many tools, but we will just use SSH only for now. I just want to keep it simple. So we have two main ways to do it. First, local forwarding. This is one of the most common types. On our attacker machine, we will use a command like this: SSH-L 8080 column 10.10.2.50 colon 80, and the pivot server's user, let's say root, and the IP, and a flag fin. So the first flag you see, the L, stands for local. It means our local machine will listen for connections. And the next one is attached to it as the 8080 something, a longer one. So the format is local port and with our local port and the target IP and the target port that it opens. The 8080 is the port on our machine, which is the entrance to our tunnel. And next is the target, 10.10.2.50 colon 80, so port 80, right? We're grabbing the port 80 content from it, which is the final destination we want to access. We want to see what's inside, right? Then we provide our pivot server root at 10.10.2.1, which is the pivot server that builds the tunnel for us. And finally, the -F capital N flags are options to run the command in the background and to not execute a shell. Alright, with that all set, we can open our browser and just type localhost column 8080, and it will show the exact same web page that's running on that internal server's port 80. How cool is that? That is so cool. Alright, so with the understanding of the local way, here comes the remote forwarding, aka reverse connection. The idea is that we can expose a service from our attacker machine to the remote network. Now let's say we want the internal server to be able to download a file from us. So first, let's open a simple web browser on our attacker machine. We can use Python for this. So we can open a simple Python server, HTTP server, right here on 8000. So we open this. Alright, we open a server on port 8000, right? So now, this is important. This is the most important part. Then in another terminal, this is another terminal. Yeah, I just want to do this like that. All right, just to let you know. So in another terminal, we'll run a command similar to the previous one, but this is quite different in some ways. So let's dissect this, right? So you can see we changed the -L, the local, to -R, so you might guess it stands for remote. Nice. And this tells you remote server, our pivot blocks to listen on a port, right? And 9090 is the port that remote pivot server will open. So, and the next one is the localhost, colon 8000. This is the destination on our machine. When the pivot server receives a connection on its port 9090, it will channel that traffic back to our machine on port 8000. But to see this, how this worked, we need an extra step. We need something that on the remote network to connect to our new listener. The simplest way to test this is from the pivot server itself. So we tell it to make a request to the port it just opened. So we'll do a simple thing like curl and HTTP localhost 9090. Now get back to your terminal that you're running on the Python server, and you will see a new log entry appear. You'll see things like this right here, serving HTTP on 0.0, whatever this is, But most important is the get and HTTP status 200. So this is the proof, means that it works, right? The remote server just connected back to us through the tunnel and successfully request a file from our machine. Alright, that is crazy, isn't it? This is cool stuff. And that's pretty much it. Hopefully you found this video helpful, and if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment below. Also, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. This is NullSecurity. I'm your host, Vix, and I will see you in the next one. Stay safe.